Live stream. I'm Shelby, a 71% successful grant writer. Thanks so much for being with me. I'm always talking about grants. For the last 7 years, I brought to you guys free grant information. And in this live stream, of course, we're going to go over what a grant is, how you can find them, and also how you can win. Just 2 weeks ago, I won a really great grant for my client, and I want to explain to you guys how that process works. I know there's so much information out here. Sometimes I feel like we are over-mentored, but we are underfunded. So I'll address that as well. But I want to make sure that I have all of your questions answered, and we're going to go over some frequently asked questions that I'll be getting in the comments when you guys are watching the videos, okay? So thank you so much for joining me. All right, so grants is free money, small business or nonprofit grants. It's free money that you can get that does not require you to check your credit, and also it doesn't require you to do any personal information, right? It's all about what your nonprofit mission is or what your small business mission is, okay? It's very important that when we are going for grant funding that you think outside the box. Thinking outside the box means focus more on ultimately what the mission is instead of focusing on what the need is. Let me give you an example. In one of my comments, I had a lovely subscriber say, hey, I want to go for grant funding. However, I don't know how to go about it. Hey, good morning. Thanks so much for being with me. I also don't know where to find grants. And I need grants because I need to pay off my truck so that way I can buy another truck and I can, start hiring employees for my trucking company. Cool. All of that sounds great. Now let's focus on what your trucking company's mission is. Is the mission to be a medical courier services that provides reliable and fast, deliveries? Is the company's mission to help all those nationwide or cross country? Right? Do you do general freight? What is the ultimate mission for your trucking business? When we focus on the mission, then we can align our business mission with the grant mission, and that is the key to winning grants. So many of you all are finding grants through Instagram, LinkedIn, and so many different small social media platforms that you're just simply applying to them because you meet the bare minimum requirements. But what you are forgetting is reading through the grant rules, terms, and conditions to align your business mission with that actual grant mission. So I'll give you another example. You can be a Black woman-owned startup that has made less than $50,000 in revenue, and also you are, let's say you're in the beauty industry, right? But just because you meet those bare minimum requirements, when you read the terms and conditions, then you would be able to see how the grantors are actually judging you on that grant application, which means they might actually want to know what has your last 2-year journey been like. So that means you need to be in operation for at least 2 years. They might request your most recent tax returns from your business. If you don't have that documentation, then you don't qualify. But you would not ultimately know that on the grant introductory page. While the eligibility requirements are there, when we're talking about getting deeper in the grant application and providing the documentation necessary for that opportunity, it's a totally different scope. So when you are applying to small business grants, be mindful of ultimately what your business mission is so you can align your business mission with the grant mission. This is how I'm actually winning grants, alongside providing all of the documentation necessary for that particular grant opportunity, okay? Okay, so grants is free money. It's a reward that you can win from any other any other business that's giving out money. So that can be Apple, Google, Home Depot, Aldi's. Okay, they give out grants. You can get it from your state and local governments, and also from any private sector. Okay. Now that you know what a grant is, I use 2 main grant sites that you can find grants on. Okay, and one is free and one is not free. Of course, the one that you have to pay the subscription to is the one that's going to give you the best results. Now, you can use HelloSkip. HelloSkip is an app you can download. It's free. And it has a dashboard of up to like 10 to 20 grants that you can apply to. That's nationwide opportunities. So these grants are pretty much for everybody who's based in the United States, pretty much, okay? Then you can use grantwatch.com. Grantwatch.com. That is a $20 a week subscription or $50 a month subscription. And it will give you thousands of grant opportunities, okay, through that grant search engine. It's literally a grant search engine, okay? So those are the two main websites that I use to find grants. When you find the grant, you must be organized, okay? This is more than just submitting the grant and then forgetting all about it. What I do is I'm a spreadsheet girly, and I create a spreadsheet like a grant list, and I put in each, let's say unit, the name of the grant, the link to the grant, when I applied, and the grant deadline date, and when I should know if I'm awarded. I use a spreadsheet because it keeps me on track of the work that I've actually put in and the applications that I've actually submitted. Why would I sit and waste my time and submit one application per month when I can apply to more than 30 grants a month to give myself a higher chance at winning? Grants are no 100% guarantee that you will win. I'm going to be fully transparent with you, but they are not hard to win at all. This is why it's important that you align your mission with the grant mission itself. You can win a grant as long as you qualify for it, and also you provide all the documentation, as well as you are thoroughly explaining how you would use the funds that goes towards what your mission is, which aligns with the grant mission, okay? So, for example, if you are applying to a grant that is specifically for those who are in sustainability or environmental development, then you need to explain, you need to first make sure you qualify for it. So make sure you have all the documentation they need for the application. Then when you are answering the questions or completing proposals, you need to make sure that your proposal aligns with sustainability and environmental development, okay? So your proposal will look like something, we're requesting $50,000. We want to do a small garden, solar panel run garden in our community. A small one to be able to give out free vegetables and fruits to those that, are less fortunate, right? Something like that. Hey, good morning. Thanks so much for joining me. So your proposal needs to have the details and the milestones you plan to reach with the $50,000 request that you're requesting on the grant. You understand? I have noticed that you guys are using AI to submit your grant applications, and I love that you guys are using artificial intelligence because it is a convenient tool that you are supposed to utilize for, any clarity and reassurance, right? But however, artificial intelligence is not the end all be all. I actually came across a grant last night. It was through, first of all, the Cartier Women's Initiative. You guys have probably heard me talk about it a lot because I love the Cartier Women's Initiative group, okay? Thanks so much, good morning. So that grant, when you get towards the end, it actually asks you, to what extent have you used artificial intelligence on this application? You might come across that question on a lot of these grant applications here in 2026, because they are actually using artificial intelligence tools themselves to check if you have used AI for your answers. I came across the Thai Global Grant, which I believe is a $40,000 grant. I was applying to my client for my client yesterday, and it actually says at the end, check this box here that you agree that you are not using artificial intelligence for your answers. At the beginning of the application, it actually says, we would rather hear directly from you as the founder. We don't want AI answers. Yeah. So be mindful when you're using artificial intelligence, even if you are going to use a prompt that instructs the AI to actually humanize the answer, it's still AI. Okay, it's still AI. It's still not directly from you. So just be mindful of those grants that you are applying to, and try your best to just kind of like reorchestrate the words, the answers in your words, so that way it won't be detected that you're using AI, okay? Now, every grant, you cannot use AI, of course, but also every grant, you cannot apply to it yourself. I've also noticed that some of these high-ticket grants, let's say the 300,000s are better, the 200,000s and better. With those type of grants, you have to have what's called a grant writer or a grant manager. So they are requesting specific information about who's your board of directors, who is, you know, who's managing this grant? Is someone else applying to this grant for you? And when you are answering that question, yes, when you have someone that is a grant writer that is doing that for you, then to be honest with you, I've noticed that it kind of makes your business look a little bit more established. And they like the idea of you having a grant manager, somebody who can handle these tasks for you, because it actually shows that you are, you are delegating this task to someone else. Okay, so the grant that I talked about yesterday, and I'll bring it up again for those of you who don't know, but I'm going for $1.5 million off of one grant. This is one grant program for my client, and he can't apply to the grant directly himself. Also, in this grant, he has to provide, or I have to provide, my actual resume and my credentials of being a certified grant writer. Okay, this is federal funding, so it does require all pieces of documentation to be certified and also to be, you know, provided in order for you to qualify. So keep that in mind too. There's levels to this grant thing. I got a comment yesterday as well, or 3 days ago, from one of our lovely subscribers, and she was saying, your channel used to be geared towards startups. And I believe that, I guess it's not, right? She's like, I guess it's not anymore. Let me explain to you my mindset behind it, and hopefully you guys can have clarity, okay? My channel for the YouTube is geared towards startups, small business owners, and enterprises, whichever have you, all entrepreneurs and nonprofit organization leaders, okay? So it's not just small business owners, nonprofits, you're welcome as well, okay? My services, my services are for those who are actually ready to go. Those who understand the scope of grants, those who have experience with grant writing themselves, and those who understand what it takes, the attendance that it takes and intentions it takes to win a grant. So that's what my services are for. I offer free education and free information here on YouTube for the last 7 years for those who cannot afford grant writing services. The purpose of me actually showing up on here almost every day for the last 7 years to teach you about grants, to make you more aware of grant updates, and also to bring new grants to you. And so that way you can actually have the ability to ask questions about how to apply to your own grants, and you can actually apply to the grants yourself, which would essentially save you money instead of you having to spend your startup money, and you can actually apply to them yourselves and get the, you know, the experience yourself. So that's the purpose of the channel. This channel is to help you guys be aware of grants, because 84% out of 33 million small business owners actually don't apply to grants, and a lot of them don't know how to. And then also it's, you know, to give you the opportunity to ask me questions so that way I can answer your questions for free. Instead of you being in, like, let's say a webinar with over 100 people, 200, 300, 500 people, and you're either not able to ask questions or you don't get your questions answered because there's so many people asking questions as well. This is something more on a smaller scale and more direct. Okay, so my channel is more so for that purpose. I'm still doing like the charitable part of my business where I am still offering you guys help for free on a live stream. It is up to you to have the questions ready when you see me on live and to ask the questions so that way you can receive the clarity and understanding that you deserve, okay? So that's the purpose of this. Now, the services of me writing grants, like I said, it's for those who have watched me before. They come recommended by a client that I've won a grant for, and they understand how grants are. Okay, and so they know they don't have the time. So what they do is they simply hire me to do it for them, and they have the money to be able to provide. In the same comment, she also stated that, she said that things economically are not going well in America and that nobody has the money to hire a grant writer. I rebuke that mindset in the name of Jesus. Your circumstances are not someone else's circumstances. Simple. You cannot project because your circumstance or your situation or your living situation or your financial situation is the same as everybody else's. Do not allow social media to don't allow social media, TikToks, Instagram videos to make you believe that there's people out here that do not have money. Don't do it. I am a victim to that as well. I'm a person that likes to be on TikTok, right? I like TikTok. And based off of what you watch on TikTok, if you spend a lot of time on a specific video, let's say we might be speaking about the whatever political wars that's going on or whatever the case may be, the algorithm is going to keep pushing those type of videos to you. If you watch a lot of videos about labor and delivery and babies, the algorithm is going to push a lot of mommy and me information, how to prepare for labor and delivery, how to have a baby, all those things, right? So what you're interested in, right? If you are interested in understanding economically what's going on, and you come across a video that is a woman that is sitting in her car, she's been economically affected by federal job losses, or she used to work for Spirit Airlines, and she's crying in her car, and you watch that entire 2-3 minute video, the algorithm is going to push another video to you about somebody who is in the same situation. That is how target algorithms work, okay? So if you keep feeding yourself this information about how economically people are not doing well, then you actually don't get to see the other side of the algorithm where people are doing well. You get it? And so it kind of makes you believe that in your world and from the content that you're taking in, the people that's around you, the people that you go to work with, that everybody is actually struggling and having a financial challenge, when really that's actually not true. Some people be lying too. Can't believe that everybody is telling you the truth. I can sit up here and we can be working the same job, but I'm married. My husband works in tech. He makes over $100,000 a year, and we are doing just fine because guess what? It's a 2-parent household. It's a 2-parent household. We live below our means as well. We're able to travel the world more than 5 times a year. We do whatever, but I'm going to tell you at work that I'm not doing well. Want to know why? Because I don't want you to pray on my downfall. So you have to be mindful of those things. And I'm only bringing this up because I was a victim to that as well. And I stopped watching videos like that. And I started claiming in the name of Jesus my wealth. I started declaring that I shall never lack in my finances in Jesus' name. I started claiming that no demons, no demonic attacks, no orchestration from the devil, no incantation shall be made over the wealth that God has for me, because the Lord, who is the Lord of hosts, has given me dominion over this earth and the things therein in it. So because I stopped watching those type of videos and I started claiming and declaring that each and every day that God gives me the strength, the grace, and the breath of life to be able to execute and to be productive and to work and serve the people that he has brought to me. God continues to bring me clients and continues to bring me people who could use my services, who do not have the mindset of, oh, I don't have money, but who also has the transparency to say, I might be in a financial challenge right now. Is there something that we can work out? And who are persons of integrity and who are a part of the body of Christ and who are going to, stick with their promises. They're going to fulfill their promises. So that comment of, oh, America is ghetto, and economically, nobody has money to spend $1,100 on writing 30 grants. That is kind of that mindset. I wish and I pray that it changes for that person. Okay. So, and she's a person, or this is a person that watches our live streams quite often. And I just wanted to address that for those of you who keep saying that. The Lord says in the Bible that the power of life and death is in the tongue. And what you think is what it is. You have to think good about yourself. You have to think positive about yourself. And you also have to think positive about your situation as well. Instead of you focusing on so much of what you don't have and how the glass is half empty, it's best that you actually look at how the glass is half full and say, well, this is what I can work with to be able to get myself out of the situation or to continue to grow. You know what I mean? That's called optimism. That's called optimism. And when you start thinking in that direction, then you have a more peaceful mindset and a more joyful mindset about the journey that God has on you, that God has for you. You feel me? So it's very important that you don't allow social media. It is what it is, media. Don't allow those things to make you feel like there's no one out here who can purchase your services and products, because that is ultimately not true. Okay? No, I'm not going to change my prices. No, I'm not going to bring back you can apply for one grant for $37. No, because I explained to you exactly what that did. It doesn't allow you to grow in your mindset. While she was on the live stream when I explained that, she still did not care. You still believe that I should accept your $37 to submit one grant that you're most likely not going to win. So you want to waste your money, is what that is. We're not thinking on the right path. And that is where, God bless you, I pray that you change your way of thinking. I responded to her comment and I said, applying to one grant, I won this grant. And she commented on my short video where I posted the grant that I just recently won from Aldi's, right? And I told her, and I said, it took me like more than 30 grants. It took me 30 grants to apply for this client in order for her to get that one response, that one yes. This wasn't, I applied to one grant. No, that's the ratio right now. While the other grants, 29 that we applied to, we won't hear back from them until July. But so far, so good. So keep that in mind, that it's not, I want to know, what is the mindset behind believing that you could win a grant by submitting one? I want to know that. I had a client, or one of our subscribers. This woman has been with us for years. She has a trucking business. She's disabled. She has so many great ways that she can literally win a grant, right? And she wants to hire me to write just 3 grants for her. I'm like, why 3? Why not 30? If you know my ratio so far in 2026, you can possibly win 1 out of the 30. Why would you have me apply to only 3? You know what I mean? Maybe she didn't think of it that way. Maybe she doesn't know. But I'm like, why only 3? I wonder why you want to hire me to apply to only 3 grants. What is that? Can somebody help me understand that? And I'm not being malicious or anything, but I'm just trying to understand so that way I can motivate you guys to go for more grant opportunities, because it doesn't make sense to just go for the only 3. Let me know in the comments because I'm a little bit confused on that one. So while you guys are typing and reassuring me of what that's like, there's levels to grants. I've said that before. Um, I'm trying to think of anything else I could tell you guys. Ask me some questions if you have any questions in the chat. Everything else is just like, if I already told you how to apply, you just simply go and apply. Today is a beautiful day. You know what? Every day in Latin America is a beautiful day. That's why I love living here. Nigeria is great as well, but I love tropical weather. You know, I'm from I'm from Miami, so tropical weather is my thing. You know, um, Lagos in Nigeria has tropical weather in its own way too, but I didn't live in Lagos. I lived in Abuja, which is the federal capital of the country, and it's like a Sahara. So yeah. So, if there's no questions, clearly you guys know what you're doing. I hope you're applying to grants. I hope everything's going well. Of course, I just wanted to share my time with you. See if you had any questions about any grants. Of course, yes, there's new grants out. Use those two grant search engines, grantwatch.com, Hello Skip, that's what I use. Yeah. And when you come across a grant that requires the documentation you don't have, just keep it moving. Keep searching for the ones that apply to you. Okay? That's really it. As far as my current clients, I'm finishing up some stuff for them. Oh, something I noticed I want to talk about really quick. Depending on the industry that you're in, you might have a specific separate grant site that you can go to. Like if you are in childhood education, early childhood education, ECE, if you have like a daycare or something like that, there are specific websites and foundations that you can go to that have grants only for y'all. Yeah, they're starting to do that. So industries like the trucking industry, real estate, not really so much. You still have to use the general sites. The trucking industry and real estate are industries that require you to have money to make money. It's not a fair landscape. It's not like that. They want the ones that got the money to spend in that type of industry. So while you have hopes, dreams, and goals of doing it, come with assets, come ready to spend. Simple. It's not, oh, they don't have grants where it's like, oh, we'll give you $100,000 to buy your truck. No. No. You have to already be in operations. You gotta have a business mission. You need to have some client testimonials. You need to show what's going on. How does your team feel about your company? You know, who's on your team? Those type of grants. And then, even if it's like getting a gas card through Shells or a opportunity like that, like, no, that's not what's happening. Now, if you're creating a CDO training program for persons who were recently incarcerated in, let's say, the youth, children that are between the ages of 18 to 25, then that's a different situation. See, you see how that works because it's impactful. Real estate. They will not give you in the grant world $100,000, $50,000, $30,000, not even $10,000 for you to start your Airbnb. No. They will not give you that money so you can get one of these nice luxury apartments and so you can be able to rent it out. No, that's not happening. But if you are providing housing to persons with disabilities, that's a different situation. If you're providing affordable housing for veterans, no, that's a different situation. If you are doing something in real estate like that, where you're providing housing for domestic violence victims, that's a different situation. But for you to do a fix and flip, absolutely not. No, you're not impactful. People still have to buy. Like, that's not impactful. Grants are community impactful driven. So you need to make sure your mission aligns with that. The Cartier Women's Initiative, their ultimate mission is to help provide care and help and resources to the United Nations mission. So the United Nations, everybody should know that as Americans, as tax-paying Americans, you should know who the United Nations is. The United Nations is literally the United Nations of the world that come together and they have ultimate missions in education, agriculture, environmental development, minerals, anything like that, technology. And they want you to align with any United Nations mission. So the United Nations might have a mission that's like, we need more healthcare help in South Sudan, in Africa, or in the Middle East. You might have a nonprofit organization that just so happens to have be able to partner with, I don't know, Blue Cross Blue Shield or whatever the case may be, or you collaborate with your own clinic. And you might have a project that requires you to receive $300,000 so you can go to Sudan and offer HIV testing, malaria drug, malaria drug, what is it? The vaccine, all of that stuff. If that makes sense. See how you're helping the world and you're helping the United Nations? That's how it is. Okay? So when you're applying to grants, think on that scope. It's more than just you making money. Yeah, of course you're an entrepreneur, but what's your mission? My mission is to educate you guys about grants so you can have another funding opportunity, so that way you don't have to fall and result to loans, lines of credit, and credit cards, which you already have experience in, and you have to pay those debts back, especially as a startup. Having to start your business with a loan and you don't know if you're investing correctly could really be detrimental to your startup journey. You could fail before you even get started, because now you have bills you have to pay, even more bills. Instead, you can actually use other people's money who's out here to help you actually start. And that's my ultimate mission, to educate you guys. My ultimate mission is to provide a platform that's easy for you to be able to comprehend other grants that serve in your favor, and also to have somebody to apply to it for you for, a very affordable price, where you can have a dashboard and keep track of all of that stuff. That's my ultimate mission, because I understand 84% out of 33 million small business owners in the United States actually do not apply to grants. Majority don't know what a grant is. And second in line is they don't have time to submit them. And this is not just for the United States. This is also for my clients who are in the UK and also in Africa. That's what I'm getting into, housing for veterans. I'm a veteran. Okay, thank you for your service, Marsha. Yeah, I have a client right now. She lives in Chicago, and she's a startup, and she is she's doing veteran housing. That's what she wants to do. Her father was a veteran. Her husband is a veteran. Her son's a veteran, right? And she's also worked as like a CNA or something like that for like pretty much all her life. And so she wants to give back to provide veteran housing. She had a family home from that her and her sister owned. However, we know with family homes, it can get tricky. So right now at the moment, instead of them using the family home that they have, the sister decided that she wanted to sell the home, because economically speaking, the sister is just ready to pack up and go and leave the United States and live her retirement life in Thailand. So they're selling their family home back in Cleveland, Ohio, which is amazing, because that will give her the leverage to be able, and the asset, right, the money from the asset, to be able to use the money for her own rental. So instead of her fully committing to a whole new home loan, because she has her own personal home that, in Chicago, in the suburbs of Chicago, she has decided to kickstart this thing off with a rental. Another good thing about doing that is that there may be other federal programs that can actually pay her rent. And of course, you're going to charge the veterans insurance, or however you plan to charge them, to be able to make sure that, the rent and things like that is paid. And especially if you're offering meals, if you are offering whatever you're offering, right? On-site nursing, then, all of that has to be factored in the budget. So what I'm doing is, if you guys don't know, I'm more than just a grant writer. I'm a small business development coach. So what I'm doing is I'm walking her through the steps. I've given her the execution strategy. I've given her the pathway. And what we are doing together is walking along the steps. My client she's a bit older, and she's not tech savvy. She's a woman that still works hard, but she's a woman that has a challenge with keeping things organized and then walking along that strategy and sticking to it. You understand? So she has hired me to be that help that she needs, and to hold her hand and to walk her through the entire step. Okay, that's exactly what we're doing together. So even with her situation with the home, her family home, I was able to also help them navigate and speak directly to the realtor that they have hired to help them sell the home, and explain to him what the ultimate goal we have with the family home, things like that. I was able to make sure that she understands what most of these budgets should go towards, all that good stuff. My client has paid me to stick with her for the rest of the year. So we have a contract, so I can be with her for the rest of the year. Now, while I will be going on maternity leave, she understands that. But while I'm on maternity leave, she will already have a a timeline of milestones she should have completed by the time I come back. Okay, so she got 4 to 6 weeks of things that she needs to be getting done. And of course, I'm still going to be in contact because I want you to do great. It's not because you pay me, it's because I genuinely care about you providing housing for veterans. So that's kind of like what's happening. Of course, at the same time, I'm applying to grants for her. That comes inside of the contract. Of course, I'm also finding other programs that she can sign up for right now. We have also set up her systems and operations so that way we've also created her website. If you guys want to see it, I can show you what my website developer has done and what her website looks like. I can walk you through it. And so let me know in the chat. And so what happens is on her website, people who are looking for, let's say, veterans, or people who are looking for, a place to stay or whatever, they can go to the website, sign up. And what I'm also doing on her behalf is I am helping her to connect herself with caseworkers that can be able to, that work with veterans. Caseworkers like, let's say, at the VA hospitals, at certain private offices, so that way they can always recommend her home as well. Now, her home will have about 4 rooms. It's about 8 beds if you do 2 beds per room, depending on the house rental. What we are doing right now is we're still in the setup phases, at the beginning phases, but we're still reaching milestones, which means we're still showing traction and growth. No, we haven't received any revenue yet. We still have to get the house. We have to get the rental. So what she's doing right now is she's literally taking time out each and every weekend. And each and every weekend, from Friday to Sunday, she's looking for a home that she can rent out that is reasonable and affordable, that she can at least use her money up front for. And instead of waiting on the house to sell back in Cleveland, she's going to use the money that she's been able to, that she works for, her 9 to 5, because she has a 9 to 5. She's going to put that money towards that rental. She already has equipment that was donated from different nonprofits, which is absolutely amazing. And then she's going to, kind of start small, but it's not going to be a slow roll. Because you want to know why it won't be a slow roll? Okay, I'll show you guys her website. It's not going to be a slow roll, friend, because she's going to be able to, because the work that we're doing now, she's going to be able to reach out to her contacts and say, hey, I have 8 beds here. Do you have veterans that need a place to stay? This is how much it is. This is what it is. Okay, so yeah. I have vacant land in Pittsburgh, PA, but I also buy a rental property. Awesome. Yeah, because it's like you don't want to do like such a big investment at the beginning. This is what me and my client are focused on. We have the house, right? She has the home at in Cleveland, but it's just kind of like we want to get the ball rolling now. These veterans need housing right now. What's the point? What's the purpose of waiting? So if we can find a house rental for 4 bedroom for about $3,000, $3,500, $4,000 a month, and we can afford that. You know what I mean? We might have that in a credit card. We can afford that. We can save up the money right now for these next couple weeks. And we can be able to afford to give that and do the down payment and everything. Let's do it. At the same time, let's put ourselves in position with contacting caseworkers and veterans and putting our website out there so people can know that this is coming soon, so that way they can go ahead and sign up. That's the mindset. And so what it is we're starting with low overhead costs, essentially, instead of just going to buy land and having to build a house and having to do, no. These people need help right now. We got to wait to buy the land, go through that whole process, zone the land, do all this, do all that, pay the taxes, do all this. Then we got to do all these contracts. Then we have to build the house. Then, you know what? That's a whole 1-year process. But things need to get done right now. So that's our mindset. Why wait? Also, the beautiful thing is we're starting off with a rental, right? So by us starting off with a rental for veteran housing, we're going to make sure that this rental makes us enough profits to be able to put towards, you know what I'm saying? To put towards a home that we can buy. Then we'll start buying. So that's the idea. Start small, then grow. That is what works best for us. If you already have oh, that's today. Oh, what's today? May 13th? Wow, that's today. I have like 3 meetings today. This is so good. All right, so let me show you her website that my website developer created. Great news with deep insight, best business, bestie structure. Yeah, pretty much. I'm helping her with structure. And I'm helping her execute it too. I can give you the steps, but if you don't have the strength, then yeah, that's how that works. Okay. As you see, I have attend a Zoom meeting for one of my clients. This is for a FEMA grant. So that's what I also do too. You hired me to do some Zooms and attend to these meetings for you so I can have clarity of what they're looking for. Okay, so Dorothy Home Inc. This is their website. It's very cute, very, very professional, right? This is my client, beautiful as she is. A safe space to call home. Dorothy Home is a housing community dedicated to providing safe, affordable, and dignified shared living environments for veterans. Through a structured housing model, we offer comfortable residential homes where independent veterans can live with stability, community, and respect. By collaborating with caseworkers, healthcare providers, and community partners, Dorothy Homes is establishing a scalable network of homes that ensures more veterans have access to a reliable place to call home. So you can apply for housing. That's what it says, our services. This is her website, affordable shared living, structured housing placement, independent community living, her phone number, you know, all that good stuff, some quick links, everything you need to know, right? Apply for housing. When you click on that, this information here, you will put in the information and you will submit this application. This can be for anybody who is a caseworker, a healthcare provider, or the actual veteran themselves. And when they submit their information on the back end, it comes up as a spreadsheet for my client. And guess what she can do? She gets the ability to open up that spreadsheet each and every day, or it should send her a notification letting her know, hey, you have a new contact. And she is actually going to call them and say, hey, my name is so-and-so. We noticed that you, with Dorothy Home Incorporated, we noticed that you were interested in our, veteran housing opportunity. Can I know if you know what your budget is, or whatever the case may be in that conversation, right? Of course, I'm going to school her on some customer service skills. Or if she doesn't want to be the direct person to do that, then it's okay. Then I will hire and train the person so they know what they're supposed to be doing, okay? Which would be like the VA, okay? I would hire the person like a virtual assistant who would just pretty much reach out to people and who put in the contact form, all right? So that's her website, just a basic website. You know, there's more about, you can click on about, you can click on services, all that good stuff. It shows you more, that goes in much deeper. But this is just, I just wanted to show you really quick. And yeah, that's my client I'm serving. And I just pray that, really soon that she's able to find a house, because, what she's doing is really great. Yep. So that's the whole veteran housing thing. I got experience in building that too. Daycares, childcare facility, early childhood, early childcare education. If you want to create your own, like educational program for children from the ages of 5 to 15 or 13 or whatever the case may be, I have experience in that too. Have experience in building a trucking business. Actually, I had my own trucking business and it failed. So I know what not to do. Um, Real estate, I did Airbnb. So I have my own personal experience in that too. I did Airbnb in Miami for a while. And then I didn't want to hire anybody. I didn't want to keep it up. It was just people were breaking things. And I just felt like, you know what, I can't live my life peacefully in Latin America. I have to fly into Miami every couple of weeks because something has broken, something I just didn't like it. So I got out of it, but it's profitable, it makes money. I felt like it wasn't profitable enough for the stress I was going through, but I've done it. Community driven projects, so things like food pantries for nonprofits. I have experience in helping those, building those, and actually getting grants for those. That's what I got the Aldi grant just 2 weeks ago for. Churches, Christian churches. Yes, I have experience in getting grants for your overall mission. For when you are providing grants for the children, the youth, that is a part of your members, right? And they need some money to go to college. I have experience in you as the actual church or as the actual organization with providing those grants. So you would be the initiator, the interceder. So the federal government will give you the money, you will give the money out to whoever is well deserving. So you would become a grantor. I have experience in that. I have 11 years of experience in this grant writing thing. And it's not just for startups. You should be actually quite concerned if I have only targeted and I've only worked for startups who don't generate revenue for 11 years. I've traveled the world and talked about grants. From Africa, which I also live in Africa, to also like Latin America here, to also the UK. So I've actually been to so many different places talking about grants. And every place also is like very interesting because every place has like their own grant thing. So it was so exciting to learn that. I had to go to these places and learn their economics and learn their scope and learn how small businesses are developed, because just because we can submit a LLC through a website, not every country is like that. And so I also had to learn that as well. Some countries require you to hire a lawyer and you have to go through that whole entire, like the lawyer has to go and file it, and it costs thousands of dollars. We're blessed in America to be able to just $200, $100, you can open up an LLC. Telling you, man. I do have experience in this, in a lot of different ways of going for grants and creating grant programs. I have been a grant judge before, and that's why I'm able to tell you guys the importance of these grants. So for you guys that feel like we're over mentored but underfunded, I can understand and see where you're coming from when you guys feel that way and say that. Yes, I do think you're over mentored, but I believe you're just over mentored and like less execution is being put in. And sometimes it's fear of the unknown, or sometimes it's like you're not prioritizing it because life is right in your face, and I totally understand that. So that's why you can hire persons like myself, coaches like myself, who are actually going to hold your hand and walk you through it, and not just hold you accountable, but hey, we need to get things done. I like to act as like a stand-in CEO. It's really fun. I really feel like I should have been a CEO for a company, but then I don't want to give so much of my expertise and energy to a company like Chick-fil-A, that, you know what I mean, you're not going to pay me my worth. Good morning. I pray you become mentioned on Forbes for your grant writing. Thank you for your service. Thank you so much. Yeah, probably not Forbes. You know, that's just, you could just pay $10,000 and be mentioned on Forbes. So I don't trust it. I've been in magazines and stuff before, but yeah, that doesn't mean anything. You can pay for media. I seen this one video where a lady asked Pinky Cole, the owner of Slutty Vegan, and she was like, oh, if you have a viral moment, what should you like, how should you like leverage like off of that viral moment? Pinky Cole literally went into giving us the full blueprint. She was like, you need to hire a publicist. If you go viral today, hire a publicist tomorrow. And she's like so right. You hire a publicist, which is a person who's going to put you through all of those all of those news outlets. And then you're going to start doing like local news, and you'll start doing like different news stations, ABC and all this stuff, get you on like the Jennifer Hudson show, right? The publicist is supposed to do things like that. She was like, then you hire a stylist so you can like, you know, show that you're into designer, you kind of change your look a little bit, and then you just keep going from there. Because she was like, everything, and as far as in like American consumers, we live in a capitalist world, and everything that you see, you kind of believe. That's what it is. That's like the consumer mindset. So if you see, I've had a viral moment. I probably made, I'm gonna give you an example. Let's say I made this really cool salmon Alfredo lasagna pasta dish, and it went viral. And viral meaning it went like 5 million views or better. Okay. At that moment that I went viral for that, I need to hire a publicist. A publicist is going to take that viral video and send it to so many different like places, right? And then before you know it, no different from the girl who did the Dr. Pepper like jingle. Well, yeah. So she's now on the Jennifer Hudson show. She's on Good Morning America. She's doing this. She's doing that. Boom. Next step, hire a stylist. Now you're seeing the girl from Dr. Pepper. She has changed her style a little bit, right? And every video we're seeing her have and post, well, guess what? She's going to like football games and all these PR runs that she's doing, right? That is sponsored by these companies that she's done a jingle for. And she went viral on TikTok. So then she changed up her style a little bit. So now we're seeing she got some swag about her. So now the ones who are into fashion and stuff, now they're into her. And then guess what? She keeps going from there. She keeps building from there. She keeps showing her lifestyle in a way from there. And what happens is people admire that lifestyle kind of like look. So whatever she decides to sell or do, or whatever jingle she comes out with, people are just automatically going to be in love with her because now they're in love with her. But it's the publicists, it's the people you hire that help build the image for consumerism. I don't know. I'm hoping I'm explaining this I'm like in the most simplest way. So if I went viral, right, for a video that I might say something that's like has something to do with, you know, business and whatever is going on with economically and politically, right? And I go viral. We're talking about 1 million+ views. Over this girl, the girl with the jingle, she did like 15 million views before it started going. So let's say over 5 million views. Like, I would hire a publishing company, a publicist. And I would tell her or him, do your thing. And any place that I have to be at, the publicist, and also I would probably have a manager at that point, but really I can manage myself. The publicist would set up those opportunities. And then I would come and do those interviews with the Jennifer Hudson show, the Tamron Hall show, Good Morning America, Fox 13 in Tampa Bay, you know, whatever local news or whatever the case may be, right? And because I have all of this content from doing that whole PR run, also probably on magazines, and all of that also comes with like, depending on what you did, all of that comes with that as well. So being on a magazine, all of that stuff, right? All of that gets posted on social media. And what you guys are doing, what's happening is you're consistently seeing me. Because you've already seen my viral video before, you've liked it and you've commented on it, and most likely you shared and reposted. So you're going to see more and more of my content, which means you're going to see more and more of the girl who went viral for this. When you keep seeing me, whatever I'm selling, you're going to most likely purchase. Because you're a fan. And because you actually saw my growth. You actually saw me go from rags to riches in a way. So that's the consumer mindset in the United States. It's so easy. So easy. A lot of people hire coaches and stuff that you see on social media because they're giving you this whole storyline about how they went from rags to riches. You like their whole entire thing. You like they sell ebooks and e-courses, but you're purchasing them and you're supporting their content because you like them, because you like that they went from a Lambo to now a Maybach truck. so, it's so easy to do. It's very easy. Now, you as a person, you have to be mindful of, what you are attracting as well. It's important that you do have your systems in place because you are going to be attracting a lot of people. And so when you're attracting a lot of people in those moments that you're doing the PR run and you're selling courses or you're selling whatever at the same time, well, then you need to be mindful of having your systems in place. So another example would be like the lady, let's say, I think her name is Ariel Pryor. And she's a Black entrepreneur. And I think she lives in Dubai or she travels a lot. A beautiful woman. But people love her lifestyle. They love that she went from this to this, right? And she became like a millionaire, like a very young age, younger than 30. And a lot of people desire that. And so she sells courses and she makes money off of selling her courses. People buy her courses because they like her lifestyle and they want to be able to have something like that. So it's not really selling lifestyle, but what she has in place is systems. She has organization. So she has like a funnel. So when you come in and you click on her link and you purchase something and it goes, you are not going to talk to her directly. You're going to have to see her at a speaking engagement where someone probably paid her over $30,000 to come and speak. So that's how that kind of works. There's levels to this and it works. There's algorithms to everything and it works. You yourself as a startup, you just have to get your foot in the door, organize your steps, and find out which algorithm works for you. For me, what works for me, honestly, all of my faith is in God, so that's that. But what works for me right now at this moment in entrepreneurship is doing what I have been doing, which is coming on, social media for the last 7 years, talking about grants, things like that, and slowly building. Because when that time does come and it's like, oh, I'm doing like this whole PR run and all this stuff from maybe like a tech solution that I created, right? Then it will be like, oh, some of you, a small pool of you will only know, which is only 57,000 of y'all, would actually know that I was a grant writer and know the process and saw the process the entire time. Which means out of the 57,000, which is only like about who joined my live streams, let's say up to 10 of you guys, right? That small percentage, which is less than 1%, you guys will probably tell other people that, oh yeah, I know her. She used to do live streams. She used to do this. She used to do that. But the majority would know me from the viral video or whatever I created. Okay. Yeah, I thought that video was very interesting when I saw that. I was like, okay. And I was reading the comments because a lot of people were like, have your systems in place, because when you start doing PR runs and you're consistently going viral, a lot of people are reaching out and for your help, or they're buying your courses and stuff, and you want to have all of that structure in place. So it makes a lot of sense. Okay, that's me. Okay, I wonder, let me ask her. Any questions? You guys have any comments about like what I said? Because, yeah. Very interesting to know that. And I feel like Pinky Code, like that's her ultimate, like that's what she did. She keeps going viral from like when we first heard about Slutty Vegan to like, and this is information she's given out to us for free that she had to learn along the way and pay coaches and just kind of learn. Of course, God did place those destiny helpers in her way, so to give her the favor and the wisdom that she has now. But you know, I also like, even with her doing the whole Real Housewives of Atlanta right now, and then like the whole bankruptcy thing, like she's leveraging all of that because it keeps her business relevant, um, and which like just continues to build her fan base, which means that when people go to Atlanta or they go to wherever they go and there's like a slutty vegan, they're going to go there. It's Atlanta, Real Housewives of Atlanta. They want to shop at the places that they see on the show, things like that. So it's very, makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Okay, let me see. Good morning. She's on Housewives of Atlanta now. Yes, she is. She's on the new season, and I don't watch it, but I'm pretty sure her storyline is about her being like this, mogul, a business mogul, and she's going through a bankruptcy and what her and her husband, like what that looked like, and all that stuff. So I'm pretty sure that's kind of like her storyline now. Um, yeah, so I mean, yeah, but she's on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay, what do I need to know about starting a business that's mobile, like a moving on, wait, like moving kitchen tips or type? I don't understand. Would you know any tips? Okay, tips. Okay, so I don't understand the business. Help me out. I don't understand what the business is. So if you could just kind of give me an understanding, maybe I can help you out. A mobile bicycle stand? I don't know. It says something about a kitchen, so I don't understand. Like a hot dog stand? I don't know. Like a food truck, more affordable. Yeah, I'm waiting on that person to Here's mine. Okay. I had an idea of starting a mobile kitchen on a tricycle, moving kitchen that sells food. Oh, okay. Yeah, like I saw that good morning, Lakeisha. So I saw they used to do that. I don't know if they still do that in New York, where they would sell hot dogs and, you know, actually they do that a lot here in Latin America, where they would have like it's like a bicycle, and in the front you have like a cooler, and they're selling like little icicle pops. So yeah, it can work. Um, so depending on what type of food you are making, right? Taking factor of how much to find a tricycle, see how much it costs. That's number one. Doing your research. What area are you going to be in mainly? We can make it for 6 p.m. 6 p.m. please. Okay, so my 5 p.m. will be 6 p.m. Sorry. What's to meet today? Okay. I'll be in Jacksonville, Florida. Okay, so what area specifically, right? Jacksonville is a very big city. It's actually the biggest city in the state of Florida. So it's like understanding what area you'll be in, what that area mainly likes as far as in like buying stuff. So do they like mainly hot dogs, hamburgers, um, cold cuts, Cuban sandwiches, you know what I mean? Whatever that would be like. And then you would determine what your schedule will be like. Yeah, and just sell. Because that's the thing where you just have to be consistent in being outside. The hot dog man in New York City, in Manhattan, let's say, or wherever in Times Square, I mean, people would know who that hot dog person is for the hot dog stand man because he's been there for years. He's just been consistently right there, whether it's in front of the courthouse or whatever have you. So just be consistent. Buy your tricycle, know what you're going to sell, put it out there, and just keep going out there every day and making profits. Simple. And then when you start generating revenue, just take in consideration, like manage your money well. So manage your money well into like, reinvesting in your foods and all that good stuff. You'll be in downtown, all that, plus fresh bakery foods. Yeah. So really, it's simple. Find a tricycle, get your food, put it on the tricycle, bada boom, bada bing, be outside. That's it. You're like literally Girl Scout cookie method door to door. You just have to sit out there and people just have to, if they run into you and they're hungry, they need a quick snack, they'll give you a try. And especially if it's in a downtown area where it's like a lot of people work. Yeah, okay, they're gonna know you be out there consistently all the time. And it's also about good customer service too. That goes a long way with what you're doing as well. You start to meet people and they start to know you for being this person who sells this particular pastry. And it's just like, hey, what's up, John? Hey, what's up, Kelly? Same thing? Would you like the same thing today? Yeah, I want the same thing. Okay, cool. You already know. So you start to build clientele or customers that, they're your regulars. So that's not hard at all. It's literally just being outside. And if you decided to go from the tricycle to a small trailer, you can do that. You can start putting other people in different strategic locations in downtown. So that way you won't be the only one there. And it will be like a small little, franchise within the downtown corners. But you want to make sure that you do your research on your particular city in your area, like, permits, if you need to have a permit or whatever. What or is there any laws, or how would I go about finding about the laws? Oh, so I would do a Google search. You can chat GPT that, Dennis. Or Denise. I think it's Dennis. So you can chat GPT it. See if there is any laws, like you need a permit to be in a specific location. What that takes. Okay, and how much it costs for you to get permits. So yeah, I would do a simple Google search, or I would ask ChatGPT. You'll be downtown, which is convenient, so you can go into the courthouse and do all those paperworks. And you will be able to know how much it costs by experience. So if you find out you need a permit, how much does it cost? If it's $275, get the $275 and pay for it so that way you can be outside. Yep. What other questions do you have? Yeah, that's an easy one. If I wanted to sell cookies in front of each Aldi store, then I'm going to get a contract with Aldi's. I'm going to reach out to their sales manager, whoever I need to, and try to figure out how I can be in front of each Aldi's in my local area. Any other questions? Did I need to have a LLC or a company document? Absolutely, you're a business. I thought you would know that. Sorry. Yes, you have to have the basic. You're a business, so you have to. Yeah, you have to have that. This is not a thing where it's like, how you gonna call yourself a business and you don't have that registered through the state of Florida? You have to. I would think you would know that. So I thought you already knew that you need to have an LLC, EIN, all that good stuff. Yeah, you need the basics. You need that. That's the basics. Sorry, friend. Yeah, absolutely. I'm a beginner just trying to get in the water. Yeah, so let me explain to you, my friend. You are not a startup. You are not a business at all if you do not register your business, your business through your state. If your business is not registered through the state, if your business does not have an employee identification number through the IRS, and if you do not have a business bank account, you are not a operational business. You're just an idea, which is where you are right now. The idea phases is the best times of your business because it allows you to create strategies, do business planning, understand how you're going to go about things. That's where you are. When you get an LLC and you spend that $200 through sunbiz.org for the state of Florida, you have officially committed to starting a business. Every year you have to pay an annual fee to keep your LLC active. That can be anywhere between $70, $100, it can go up to thousands of dollars. Me, I've been in business through the state of Florida for a long time, so every year I have to pay anywhere between $700 to $1,000, okay? I've been in business for 11 years. This is different over here. For you as a startup, you have to do that. I'm letting you know this right now. Your EIN is a free registration number that you can get through the IRS. You can visit irs.gov. When you have your LLC and your EIN, go to a bank, not a federal credit union. Go to Chase, go to Wells Fargo, go to Bank of America, okay? Open up a business bank account. The thing about going through Navy Federal or any other federal credit union is that you are limited to the opportunities you have as a business owner. There may not be funding available for you if you needed a loan really quick or a line of credit really quick, okay? So I go with Chase because Chase is invested into real estate. Chase is invested into so many different things. Chase definitely can invest in me. Okay, so I like Chase. What else? So yeah, you're not a business unless you have not committed to the whole process unless you actually get an LLC. You are not a business, okay? Your idea. Once you have a business bank account and you start investing, if you have a 9 to 5 and you put that money into your business bank account and you use your business bank debit card to purchase a tricycle, now you have your first purchase or first investment that you can show proof of through your business bank account. Start operating like a business, You have to start operating in that way. So you have to separate your personal from business. So whatever money you want to spend, deposit it inside of your business bank account and go use the business debit card. Okay? That goes with food. If you're going to buy food from Aldi's, Winn-Dixie, Walmart, Publix, for you to be able to sell, if you're going to a place of a farmer's market, you need to deposit your budget. If you plan on spending $500, put that $500 inside of your business bank account and go do it. What you're doing is you are creating traction. You're creating like a statement, and your statement is showing how you are investing. Okay, so when you go for funding opportunities or whatever the case may be, they're able to see that you have been doing this through your business bank account, because they're not going to take your personal into consideration. So when they ask for your bank statements, you give them your business bank account statements. What you're doing on the back end and for your personals don't have nothing to do with what's going on with your business. You must keep them separate. And when you start to learn that early, you will be, on the right path as far as in keeping yourself financially stable and sustainable. Please ask any more questions. Yep. But welcome to entrepreneurship. It's a journey. Don't start and quit. Just do it. Your journey is different from somebody else. Have God with you always. You have to ask God for wisdom and favor. They probably told the hot dog man he can't have a permit, but they might not tell you that. So whatever other people's experience is, you still got to go for it yourself. Okay? Who's making free websites, if that even exists, or will I need to have insurance? Making free websites, nobody. Not even an artificial intelligence is making free websites. Simple. You can, and not even GoDaddy. Like, you still have to purchase your domain in order for you to use their artificial intelligence tool for the free website. So they say it's free, but it's not. So nobody's giving out free websites. You have to, so start to learn in your early stages of having to pay for these things. Okay? Nothing is free out here. If you cannot wipe your butt with toilet tissue for free, and if water that we drink is not free, friend, you should not ever in your life think anything is free. Okay? So yeah, don't. So you can use an AI tool to create a website. My clients, like I showed you guys the website earlier, they pay for websites through my website developer. We just make sure everything's set up so that way you don't have to worry about it. So be open to delegating those tasks. Something that I talked about yesterday, I don't know if you guys know the creator Jay Nice, but Jay Nice has like a viral video going around right now. She said it took her 15 years to understand this, and she gave business advice. And one of the main things that she said was she understood that she cannot be a one-man band show, which is true. You cannot be a one-man band show trying to build a company or trying to build a brand or trying to build a business. No, that's not how it works. Just because right now you are starting as a one-man band show, it's still, you cannot, you can't go against the program. You can't beat the program by you just alone. You have to have help from others. You have to delegate tasks and hire others to do these things for you. And you have to be willing to do it. So when it comes down to the website, be open to possibly hiring someone to do it all for you, or you can use like AI tools that can possibly create your website for you. Do you need to have business insurance? I would think so. It all depends on what's required of what you're doing, right? Because keep in mind that all of that with business insurance, your permit, all of those things come with understanding what is the necessary laws and documentation I need to have in order for me to be in this location to sell what I am selling. So those questions won't be answered until you go to the courthouse in Jacksonville, or you actually speak to, or you ask ChatGPT what that looks like, or you go through the actual process. Because ChatGPT, or I could tell you, you need to get a permit to be on this corner in downtown in Jacksonville. But when you go directly to go get the permit, they might tell you you need to provide business insurance that covers you to up to this amount of money. And I won't know what business insurance that is for you, because I don't have business insurance. I don't operate in person. I don't have like a physical product. I don't need it. I'm also registered in multiple countries. So that's not a thing that flies. So it's like, it's different for everyone. So you would have to, that's experience. You would have to go and experience that yourself and see what they're saying. Yep. I wish you the best of luck. It can happen. Don't take too long. Any other questions, you guys? Hey. My client literally just won another grant from Costco. From Aldi's to Costco. Look at us. We're doing good. She said, hey, I received a call today from the local Costco where I dropped off the application, and they called me to inform me that they are giving BCOC, which is the acronym for her company, a gift card. I'm not telling you guys how much it is. She said, I said, are you sure you don't mean blah, blah, blah? And she was like, I'm so grateful for another win. More to come. I'll pick it up this weekend. Also, she wants to know, was these other two submitted through Dollar General and Walmart? Let me see. This is so great. So great. So that means 2 out of 30. 2 out of 30. 2 out of 30, we have won. This is so great. For Dollar General, we are waiting. I submitted that one. This is so good. Thank you, Jesus. I love getting these emails. Congratulations, you have won. This is so great. So 2 out of the 30 grants that I applied to for you are getting approved. We actually have an actual ratio now. This is great. This is great. Okay, so I think 5 p.m. My time is 6. All right. Are there any grants for my startup possibly? Yeah, there's grants for startups, but there's more grants for business owners. Like these 2 grants out of the 30 I applied to for my client, she's already been operating. So we see a lot more grants for operating business, but there are some for startups. You want to visit Hello Skip. You can visit Hello Skip and find grants. You can also use grantwatch.com to find grants as well. Okay, so that's Hello Skip and grantwatch.com. Somebody can drop that in the chat so that way you can have it there for your use. That's pretty much where I find grants. Okay, this is 10 a.m. So it's 5 p.m. What time? Is that my time or their time? My time is different. Let me see. They're on New York time, so we're gonna switch it to 6 p.m. So yeah, add optional message on, yes. Okay. 6 p.m. Okay, after this meeting, I'm definitely going to be beat because that means I have to, whatever, yeah, Hello Skip and grantwatch.com. Thank you so much. So Hello Skip is free, so I would start there and I would see if they have any grants available for my startup and go from there. Okay, but ultimately, when you are a startup, you have to have, you're not a startup, Dennis. You're not a startup. You're not a startup. Remember that. You are not a startup. Are there any grants for my startup business? Possibly. You're not a startup. You are an idea. You are a startup when you have purchased the LLC, the EIN, and you got the business bank account. You haven't started nothing. You understand? You haven't started anything. You start something when you have done the necessary paperwork and you've committed. Okay? So you're not a startup. So don't go out here looking for startup grants and expecting, because you're going to go through the application and they're going to ask you for this documentation that you don't have because you're not a startup. You said, I'm trying though. You are an idea. I'm not saying that to hurt your pride. Change your mindset out of consumerism. Be the boss in this moment. I'm saying that you are not a startup because you have not done the paperwork. You have not committed. You have not paid for the LLC. You have not gotten the EIN number. You have not opened up the business bank account. You are not technically a startup business. Nobody knows who you are. You're not registered through the state of Florida. You are in the idea phases. The idea phase means this is an idea. You are trying. You created the idea. You're trying to see what it looks like. You're doing market research, all of that stuff. You become a startup When you have registered your company through your state, you have gotten your EIN number, you've opened up the business bank account, and you have created an internet presence. At least have a LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is literally a social media platform for business owners. Okay? So don't take offense to it. You're going to have to change your mind. You're no longer the consumer. You're the person who sells. You're not the person who buys anymore. You're the person who's selling. So now it's time to operate in that mindset. And so that means when it comes technically to business, you have to start. And in order for you to start it, that doesn't mean having the tricycle, putting it out there and starting to make sales. That means you have to do the necessary documentation and paperwork so you can have permission to start the business. You get it? Frank said, I'm trying though. Listen. Okay, good. You get it. Perfect. Yeah, I know you're trying. I'm trying too. We're all trying. All of us on this live stream, we're all trying. We're all doing. We're all doing what we have to do. We're all trying. But the fact still remains. Okay? So when you go, and the reason why I'm telling you this is because you cannot walk into the bank and ask the bank for a startup loan. And you don't have an LLC. You don't have an EIN number. You don't have a business bank account. Because they're going to ask you, please provide me with your state registration. You're going to say, what is that? Your LLC, EIN, do you have that? You're going to be like, oh, I don't have that yet. I need that. Don't go up in there looking crazy. Okay, so do you at least have an EIN number? Your business needs a employer identification number. If you don't have it and it's free for you to get that, you can be like, oh, I didn't know I needed that. Do you have a business bank account with us, sir? No, I didn't open up that account with y'all, but I was going to open up that account. You have already came with the cart before the horse. How you going to ask me for $10,000 and I don't have nothing to fall back on to understand, like to verify that you're an actual business? I'm not going to give you $10,000 for free. I'm going to ask you for some credentials up front first, because in case you run off with my 10, I could be able to hold you accountable through business credit, through the FTC, through something, because you owe me. You understand? You gotta think on that type of scale. You gotta think on that type of scale. So, you need to have all of these things. Basic foundations. All right? That's what it is. I offer $50 consultations. You're more than welcome to schedule one. And you're more than welcome to schedule a few of them. If you're serious about moving forward, I'll walk you through the whole steps. And no, it's going to take more than one consultation. It will take multiple. After you do one task and you finish one thing, you come back, we schedule another one, we keep moving. You come back, schedule another one, keep moving. We keep moving, we keep moving, keep moving. That's how it is. This is awesome. You are telling the truth and really helping. Thank you, Shelby. My pleasure. We give all glory to God. Before I get on these live streams, I pray and I ask the Lord to order my tongue. So, and hopefully for you all to be able to understand and comprehend what I'm saying. I do just trying to cover my steps. Yeah, but also what I can tell you, the best advice I can give you in entrepreneurship, and with me doing this for 11 years, the journey is the journey. Experience is the best teacher. I could tell you everything that you need to have, but your experience is going to be different from mine. I gave you the example earlier. They probably told the hot dog stand man he can't be there. You can't be in front of our courthouse. You can't be in downtown Jacksonville selling these hot dogs. You can't do it. But they might tell you you're okay. You just need to get all of this, that, and the third. And you could be able to stand here and sell coffee, donuts, pastries, and whatever else you want to sell. That's the favor of God. And that's also taking on the journey and having faith on the journey as well. Whatever somebody else's experience was, it ain't going to be the same thing for you. Yesterday's price ain't today's price. What that means is whatever happened yesterday it's not the same for you today. Who I was 11 years ago is not who you are looking at today. I'm a wife, about to be a mother. I've traveled different countries. So if I did not operate on faith and just give things a try, you know what I mean? I wouldn't have the experience that I do have for me to be able to be confident to explain to you what about this and about entrepreneurship. So even myself, I could tell you all these things and what you need to do, but your experience is still going to be different. Me, I'm from South Florida. You from North Florida. You live in Jacksonville. What we do in Miami-Dade County and what they allow down there is different from what they allow in Jacksonville, Duval. Same thing is different from what they allow in Hillsborough County too. You understand? So with that being said, it's different landscapes, different things for different people. So I would love for you to just do it, and get the experience and learn for yourself. Don't take anybody else's advice. Go out there and learn for yourself and don't be afraid. God will give you favor. God will bless your steps because you're putting faith in God and trust in God that things will work in your favor. Okay? And you'll see. Things will be different for you. Somebody else might come to you and be like, man, how you got your thing out there? I've been trying for years to put my hot dog stand out there. I've been trying for years. I was trying to sell frozen cups out there. Well, I don't know. All I did was do this. But they probably don't want frozen cups sold out there. Coffee, teas, and pastries is probably all they want out there. Nobody else came with the coffee, teas, and pastries. Everybody else wanted to come with the food that was going to bring the flies and mosquitoes. You know what I'm saying? So it's just be open-minded, man. And experience is the best teacher. Okay? So don't put pressure on yourself. In about 15 minutes, I have to join like a whole Zoom call. So y'all have like 15 minutes of asking me questions, whatever you need. Book a consultation with me. The link is in the description. It's $50. It's worth it. That way I can give you guys individually your own steps. It's really hot today, and the traffic is. The thing about living in downtown, it's so loud. It's so loud. This is one thing I didn't like about living in Brickell. It's loud. It's loud. So I went from living in Broward and Fort Lauderdale to living in like downtown in Brickell. I was like, this is beautiful, but this is loud. I'm like, the only thing about living downtown. It's loud out here, okay? See? You can hear every traffic, everything going on in traffic, plus the bees, the birds, and the dogs. It's like, it's actually loud. You open up a window, it's loud out here. I'm actually about to close it because there's no breeze. I'm hot. Okay, I wanted to know if you guys have any. Good morning. Anything else you want to say? I'm giving you guys like 10, 15 minutes before I have to get on this Zoom call with a so I'm not getting on a Zoom call with a client. I'm getting on a um, a Zoom to learn more about a grant that's um, provided through FEMA. So I have to learn more about how to apply to it. And she is, yeah, she's paying me to apply to this grant. Oh man. This course, yeah, Panama is absolutely stunning. What did I buy yesterday? Oh, I bought fish. Happy you're still pushing through. Absolutely, you guys. Absolutely. You know, I ask God to give me the strength every day, and we just keep on going. This is my refrigerator, and it's like, yeah. He says, see, you need my business, I come to you. I don't understand. What? I don't live in the United States. Something I think you should know. I know you're new here. So I don't live in the United States. I moved out of the United States in 2023. This is the first country I lived in. I live in Panama, Latin America. I don't live in Panama City. And so, then I moved to Africa. My husband's in Nigeria right now. So I moved to West Africa. Hey, but I understand what you're saying. You will come to me. You put yourself on DoorDash and Uber. Yeah. My husband is Nigerian. And we are having a Nigerian, Panamanian, American baby. Yeah. Have I noticed any changes in the grants lately? Yes. Because of artificial intelligence, I have noticed that the grants are requesting that you don't use AI. The grants are open. Some grants are open to you using AI, but they want to know to what extent have you used it. So they actually ask you that question. Their grants are requesting more documentation. So instead of them asking if you have an LLC and an EIN and a pitch deck and a business plan, they're requesting that you upload it. More and more grants are requiring you to have a pitch video, which means it's a video about yourself and your company and your mission. in your project. Many of these grants want you to explain the milestones you plan to reach with the money that you're requesting. Yeah. I've noticed with some of these grants that they actually want you to directly write out your expenses, which means on the application, they will have a table where you need to enter in the name of the expense and how much it is. I noticed that in 2026, these grantors are requesting a recent financial audit. So just when you were going to use AI, they said, oh, okay, you can use AI for your answers, but let's see if you already have all these things. So, yes, grants have changed. It used to be more startup grants in 2023, and we could just do more. And it was just like all you had to do was just have an idea, $10,000, all that stuff, right? No, not anymore. The reason that is, thank you so much. We give glory to God that we have our baby. Okay, while you're saying it's not going to be easy. No. Mm-mm. Because they want to make sure that they're choosing the candidate that actually has impact and that has proven like concept. Proven concept. Like our friend in the chat, he can apply to a $20,000 grant because he's based in the United States, right? But on the application, right? So he might meet the eligibility requirements, but on the application, they're going to ask for all these documentation, right? And if he doesn't have a recent financial audit or anything like that, they're going to choose the candidate that does. Because guess what? Our friend is just an idea. He's not really creating impact right now. Even if he does have his LLC EIN and his business bank account, he's still not like creating impact. There's no way for him to be able to show that. He can't really show his expenses because he probably didn't invest into his tricycle yet. He didn't invest into food yet. He didn't hire employees. Versus that person who can express how much their payroll expenses is, how much it is for their business insurance, how much it is for this, how much it is for that. And then they can also explain how they plan to use the money to reach a milestone to be able to hire more people, to be able to be more operational or more efficient in their productivity, things like that. And they're able to show in their answers that by investing in these key areas, that they will be impactful to this group of people in their local area. So it makes sense. No, I don't want to just give out $10,000 to somebody who's just starting on an idea when I can give it to somebody who's already working on this, who aligns with the mission, who's already been doing this, and I know that they'll show up because they do it anyway. I hope that makes sense. It's like you're just starting a business or a nonprofit to be able to feed the homeless, right? So you're just starting. I'd rather give the money to a nonprofit who's already been feeding the homeless. They can prove that they've been doing this. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's how that works. Yeah, that's how that works, friends. Okay, sounds good. Great. Let me make sure.
They're giving you this already.
Okay. Okay. All right.
60 days. They give you 60 days.
Oh, okay. That's really good. Okay, let me send it to you now. I'll call you back.
All right, thank you.
All right. Hello, is it hard to receive money when you have a 9 to 5? But your 9 to 5 has nothing to do with that. I don't know what you mean. Like, are you restricted because you work a job that they will not give you a grant? No. What your job have to do with business? Your job has nothing to do with business. What I mean is, I put a lot of my money that I make from my job into my business, but I have yet to have made a sale. So, no, that doesn't mean anything at all. Like, that's not, that's what you're supposed to do, friends. That's what you're supposed to do. Whatever income that you have to use the income that you have now to be able to invest into your business. That is ultimately what you are supposed to be doing. So that will not affect you from being able to not receive a grant opportunity or any funding opportunity. It just shows that you are prioritizing your business and you are investing into it. Now, by you not making sales, you got to take a step back and take a look at that strategy a little bit, because you need to figure out why you're not making sales but you're investing into the business, right? Now, it depends on the business type that you have. It could be a thing that it's like you have to get certain licensing fees and regulatory things done in order for you to be able to operate. So you might have to invest a lot up front in order for you to be able to operate the business before you start making sales. Some of you all, I know that there's some business industries where you have to have like a certain certification before you can actually start to sell, especially for those who are like, let's say skincare product based businesses and stuff like that, right? So that makes a lot of sense. But if you're not, and you have invested, and let's say you're doing like just general, selling like products and services, then let's talk about how you can start making money now. But you have made progress though, because you've been using your money to invest into the business. So you've made progress. Yes, that makes sense. Please forgive me if I sound a bit negative, but I can't help but wonder how many of these companies are really using this AI to find qualified application. All of them. All of them. It's not a problem with that. They're just downloading your application, putting it through Zero GPT or another AI detector, and then boom. So all of them. Yeah, you can't blame them. All of them. Now, when it comes down to federal funding, like this $1.5 million were requested for my client through the Rural Health Transformation Program in the state of Florida. When it comes down to that, no, they actually have a team of agents that actually sit down and go through each and every documentation provided. And line by line, bar for bar, they're making sure that you actually qualify. And there is a payments fee schedule. This is a total different ball game over here. Hey Jay Brittany, how are you? Long time. I'm just thinking about you. I hope all is well. I'm a real estate wholesaler. Okay. Different. It might require you to invest a lot up front. You're in real estate. That's usually a thing where people that come from money, who have assets, who have good credit, they're able to pull out loans, HELOCs from, loans from their assets and stuff, and they're able to use that money up front to reinvest. So if you're not that type of person, then it might take you a little bit longer to, get the ball rolling. So it makes sense. But will they give you money to get the ball rolling? No. The ball need to be rolling. It needs to be rolling, friend. Yeah. 1 minute left. You guys can ask me a question really quick. Yeah, I'm getting there now. What did I just do? Okay, great news. Okay, great. Let's see. Teams. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna let you go because hopefully you can hear me. Great news. All right, I'm on this webinar. Awesome. There's 116 people in here. Am I going to be live tomorrow? I don't know. It depends on, you know, how I'm feeling. You know, I'm quite far along in my pregnancy. I'm in my 3rd trimester, so I don't put stress on myself. I take it day by day. I never stress in life. I take it day by day. So I can't make any promises. However, I would love for you to schedule a consultation. If you want that personal one-on-one time, the link is in the description of this live stream and all of my videos. Have y'all chosen a name? Yes, we have. Oh, I thought wholesaling real estate costs nothing. You know, it all depends. You know, I really don't know much about real estate or wholesaling in the United States. I hate real estate personally in the United States. Yeah. It's very on wholesale. The expense like fees and marketing. Okay. Yeah, I personally I don't like it at all. Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Are you able to hear me okay?
Yeah. Yes.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, we hear you, Cassie.
Awesome. Thank you, Jason. Welcome to the 2026 Nonprofit Security Grant Program Pre-Application Webinar. My name is Cassidy Myers. I'm a new NSGP grant analyst alongside Ashley Smith. She's actually out in the field today conducting damage assessments.
Oh,
So she will not be joining us,
cool.
but she's also a primary contact and support. I also have with me Paul and Jason. Paul will be monitoring the chat.
So why is that though? Oh, because why I don't like real estate in the United States? Because you actually don't own the land. Simple. I don't like none of it at all. I never desired in my entire life to want to buy or own land or a property in the United States of America, simply because of historic things, and also because like politically speaking, things can change, and I just don't like it at all. And that's because I have been exposed, and I travel the world. So living in West Africa, buying land in West Africa, or buying a property in West Africa, it's not buying the property or the land. It could be, but it's in most cases it's not like that. When you own the property, you own it, 100% outright. This is your land. This is you. This is it. You can claim land, all kind of stuff. So that process is just way more easier, simpler, and as long as you have the money, I know for a fact that I own it. That's it. There's no having to pay property taxes because I own the home on this land, because I own it, and the land cost is actually cheap. Building the house on the land is actually quite affordable as well. So instead of me having to buy the land, that's probably going to cost me so much money in the United States, Plus, I have to do zoning. Plus, I have to do all these other maintenance fees and regulatory fees, or whatever the case may be. I don't have to do all of that in West Africa. You know what I'm saying? So I never really desired. I never desired to retire and live in the United States either way. I may be from America, but that's just, I'm not patriotic. So I'm just going to keep that very simple and sweet. I'm not patriotic. I stand 10 toes behind God, God's plan, and what God has for me. It makes sense. I always wanted to invest in other countries. Yeah. Yep. I actually run a real estate, not real estate, but like an investment company that allows the diaspora or just others who want to invest into like Nigeria. And what I have now is a group of amazing Black individuals who have absolute stellar credentials. I mean, they've worked with the Obamas, they've done this, they've done that, and they want to build a sustainable energy like housing community. So yeah, we're just going over the introduction, so that's how I'm able to talk to y'all. And so I pretty much run that group, and what me and my husband do is we go out, assess the land, then use the money to invest into the land, and then we keep going from there. And that requires going to places like China to get the equipment for the sustainable energy equipment, like the solar panels, EV charging stations, if we want to have it in this neighborhood that we're creating. The neighborhood is like supposed to be like a luxury neighborhood, so we can use the profits and revenue to do more of charity and nonprofit things, like being able to provide solar powered energy to a rural area in Nigeria, like a village. So, yeah. So you want to know more about my business? So I'm a small business development coach. I am an 11-year experienced grant writer, and I have a 71% successful grant writing rate. Right now, my going rate is I'll apply to 30 grants for you. You can get approved to at least 2 out of the 30. And that's just recent numbers that we just did this morning. Also, by me being a small business development coach, I basically specialize in being that stand-in CEO that creates strategies or help you create strategies along the way, and we also execute them together. So it's more than just holding you accountable, it's actually fulfilling those duties and tasks for you as well. So that I am contract based in that way. I'm also a SaaS tech developer where I have created a platform called Grantfully, which is a grant search engine where you can find grants and also have someone, an actual human, submit a grant application for you. I have not launched it yet because it does take money to invest into these tech platforms. Also, I'm looking for investors. I'm looking for investors that are willing to invest a total of about $2 million or more into this SaaS tech platform. What else? I travel the world, do speaking engagements about small business development and grants. I'm also I'm an investor. And I just pretty much, if you think about it, I'm like that CEO, that affordable CEO that's on the go for you. Simple. Yeah, and that's what I do. So people hire me to do things for them to keep their steps organized and actually to fulfill the task and that needs to get done. Because a lot of people are, doing business and they're operating their businesses, so they might not have, any time to be able to get all of the back end things done. So that's where a chief executive officer would come in, and I do that on a contract basis, a 90-day contract basis. So every 90 days, we review and update the terms, the contract.
that renders it impossible for
Does your investors invest with Kenya as well if they want to? But I'm only doing Nigeria because I have a home in Nigeria. My husband and I, we're physically on ground. I'm not physically on ground in Kenya.
non-terrorist disaster.
So I would have to physically go to Kenya, and I wouldn't want to take on investors' money without being physically on ground and being that trusted person.
Responding to or recovering from disasters, emergencies, or events that integrate nonprofits, preparedness with broader city/local efforts.
Great question.
We are part of a national voluntary organizations active in disasters and community organizations active in disasters that are leading to building this power. The organization does not have or has not had existing or we can mention any response or recovery activities the facility could do for their community if a terrorist attack occurred in your community.
The chat is hilarious. They're like, can you please slow down? She is talking very fast. She's just trying to get through this. But I believe this will be recorded, so I think we'll be fine.
Temporary shelter for community members during disasters.
Hey Cassidy, just got a couple people asking you to slow down just a tad so they can keep up with some of their OT.
Of course, and I can go back and review any slides if needed.
Thank you.
The investment justification. A, will discuss multiple, detailed, and specific threats or attacks against your nonprofit organization or closely related organization.
Okay, I'm going to let you guys
Make sure
go.
there's any information that your risk assessments make sure
Everybody's asking the same question. Will this be recorded?
these findings and insurance claims with gates.
There's no further questions. I really do appreciate you guys. I'm going to pay attention to this thing because she's going through what needs to be, and I pretty much know what she's doing. But
Susceptibility to destruction,
um,
incapacitation, or
yeah,
exploitation by a terrorist.
we'll talk later. Okay, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye for now.